Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my podcast, Life Theory Distorted Linds. I am your host, Lindsay, and today is February 9th, 2022. And my monitor keeps blinking at me, so hopefully this thing will record okay. What do I even open with? I was talking about the Freedom Convoy last week, how I don't even think I had mentioned or knew then at that moment that GoFundMe first had paused the funds, $10 million, by the way. How amazing is that? And then they said they're going to not only not refund the people the money that gave money to that organization, but take that money and give it to whatever charities they deem are appropriate, which is absurd and theft on the highest level. If you're advertising your system or app, whatever, where people can donate money to a cause, and like the people know in their mind they're giving money to this cause, and then you, the ownership of that app, take the money that which they thoughtfully put towards one organization or one person or another to do your own thing. I mean, I think that's illegal. The internet is so bizarre on that level of, it's just the wild, wild west where anything goes. There isn't really laws on the internet. There is, but there isn't. What is it? Section 230 or something. I don't quite know what it is, but it gives people the freedom. Like YouTube isn't held liable for the comments that are left in the comment, whatever, anyway. So, but then I guess there was so much flack and backlash, even with, I'm not sure if Elon Musk said something about that. I know that Elon Musk did donate a lot of money, but Jordan Peterson was pretty livid about that. And I guess maybe it got too much exposure and people were going rampant about it or going off the rails about it on Twitter, saying they're never going to use GoFundMe again. And in my mind, I knew that GoFundMe was crap, authoritarian before all this went down. Like, so many websites are captured. Nextdoor. I mean, basically every well-known website is all like gender equality, and you can't say a damn thing or have an opinion about the masks or vaccines. Well, I got a warning on Nextdoor. I only used Nextdoor when we first moved here for furniture and whatnot, which, by the way, wound up being fruitless and pointless because so many people are moving here that I would want an item and they'd be like, oh, sorry, someone's already coming to pick it up. So I only wound up getting two actually amazing bar stools from the 70s that are clear acrylic, which I'm like, I love vintage anything. And that was such a score. I mean, acrylic is in style. I think it's pretty much timeless, but it's the vintage bar stools that I got were cheaper than new acrylic bar stools. So I was like, whatevs, give me the vintage, cheaper anyway. And it's funny buying stuff from Nextdoor or Craigslist because you find out the people that are selling the item that you like are pretty damn similar to you. Like, this lady was an artist and a painter. And anyway, tangent as usual. It's not even a tangent. I think it's just more spitballing or something. Is that the right word? So yeah, GoFundMe reversed their thing. But I'm going to try not to cuss, but F GoFundMe. Like, their Gifts and Go, which is an amazing, it's pretty much the same as GoFundMe. It's a Christian organization. I think they've moved their donation platform over to Gifts and Go. Gifts and Go, freedom. Oops, did I spell freedom wrong? Oh boy. Yeah. Okay, let me share my screen here. If it'll allow, I guess it would help if I chose share screen. Okay. Get it? Yay. So this is giftsandgo.com / I'm not sure. Oh, this is just Patriot News Network. I'm not sure what that is. This is not, I don't think it's the Freedom Convoy. Let's see. Freedom Convoy. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, I know they're on Gifts and Go. My internet is taking forever. Let's move on from that. Yeah, so I do these the white rose stickers, which is actually brings me great joy. Where if you're on Telegram, just go to the internet and type in t.me / join the white rose. And if you buy your own thermal printer, you can print your own stickers from home to kind of help wake people up, give something for someone to think about. I've seen quite a few times where I put my sticker and people scratch it off. I mean, that's not uncommon, but it's amazing to see it still be there occasionally. So, stickers like this, "My freedom doesn't end where your fear begins." Anti-vaxxer, a person who trusts their own immune system more than they trust pharmaceutical companies, career politicians, and the corporate media. See also critical thinker. That one's pretty tiny, too small. Really simple ones like "This is child abuse," "Putting a mask on children." They have really great art, and there's a lot to pick from. "You wear a face mask to avoid any hassle. Here's a prescription for a pair of balls. Grow a pair." I think it's called guerrilla marketing, but the white rose is actually a term somebody deemed from back in the day. This is what happens when you research too much. The White Rose Army. And you just kind of forget everything because everything just mushes together. The White Rose was a nonviolent intellectual resistance group in Nazi Germany, which was led by 5 students and 1 professor at the University of Munich, including, those are just names. The group conducted an anonymous leaflet and graffiti campaign that called for active opposition to the Nazi regime. So how appropriate is it that this group called it the White Rose? I don't know. I love it. I love the founders that created the White Rose Army. Let me just show you. Well, you get it. I mean, just if you don't have Telegram, definitely download Telegram. There's a lot of actually, you know what? I have my Telegram right here. I don't know if it's going to start up. I have so many windows open. My computer's being weird. Anyway, it's great, and I love doing the stickering. Well, you get to see all my groups here. I don't even keep up with this, though, honestly. It's so overwhelming doing any of this Telegram stuff. I used to when I was in California, and I had, lost all my friends. I wasn't really social or going out because you just kind of get glued to your phone. Not healthy in the slightest, but it is what it is. So this is the White Rose. It gives you a whole instruction thing on how to print from home. And like I said, you can pick which art that you like. This is, where you can leave it. Spotted in Calgary, Alberta. It's just great. Stickers. She's the lady that runs it. I love her. She's actually handing off her sticker thing to someone else because I think she's having a change of life a little bit. One nation under distress. Anyway, you get the point here. Let me exit out of this. I do recommend Telegram though, for sure. Telegram has a lot of, it helped me wake up to all the truth that's been going on. There's an Australian group that I'm a part of that they post the insanity that's been going on there. I don't know. There's a lot of groups you can join. If you are watching this on ODYSEE, you can just see what I just had up and what groups I was a part of. If you have any questions, you can, I guess, Twitter at me or something. Join my Subscribe Star, and there's a much more personal base there where you can have sincere discussions with me. Only with my Subscribe Star peeps. Okay, so that's what the White Rose is. So what I wanted to talk about is that the White Rose stickers that I do are made from the thermal printer, and thermal printers are thermal paper. And this is back from 2014. New research finds that the BPA and cash register receipts can be absorbed through skin. This is through consumerreports.org. I'm going to read from this one, which is, I don't know who this is, some random MD, and shippymd.com. 5 ways to avoid BPA exposure from your paper receipts. Are receipts toxic? Measurable levels of BPA are found on thermal paper used for credit card machines, ATMs, airline boarding passes, movie tickets, prescription labels, supermarket food labels, and cash registers. 2015 study tested 170 receipts from 62 different vendors, including supermarkets, restaurants, gas stations, banks, and 168 of them tested positive for BPA. BPA is a known endocrine disruptor, also found in food packaging and other plastics. I think BPA is that stuff that they've banned from, or they say they've banned from children's sippy cups and whatnot. And I say, they claim they did, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, what does organic food nowadays even mean? Can we you wake up to all that's been going on. Wait a minute. I personally don't trust in any vaccine I have ever gotten. Is it possible you've gotten a vaccine and it doesn't affect you? Sure. But I have a lot of, or enough body ailments that I think that they're connected to vaccine stuff. I mean, maybe not, but it's just a thought I have. And nobody's perfect, obviously. What was I saying about that? I legitimately forgot. So who cares? Let's go on here. Where, if you start realizing, wow, the world around you is lying and everything is not what it seems, then why would I sit here and really trust and believe that organic food is actually organic? Like what is their version, especially in America? My God, if there's this Instagram account I used to follow that would post all these foods and what are in these foods and how toxic they are. And some foods aren't even allowed in different countries, like Fanta or something is not allowed in Europe because it's toxic AF. It's absurd what America considers to be food. And I love this thing of why is there a one health food aisle at the grocery store? If that's health food, then what is the rest of the store? Things that make you go, it's poison, literally. And it's, I don't know. This isn't like I'm better than you. It's just I've woken up to things and I don't use Glade or disinfecting Lysol or any of that shit. Like, I think I've already talked about that, but that stuff is so toxic. Like, throw that crap out. If you have like random headaches or migraines, I mean, it could be a whole slew of things. Just try to get back to nature as much as you can, honestly. I mean that in every way, shape, and form. Like, use a book instead of like Kindle or something. I mean, there's literal science behind like flipping the page, and there's real stuff behind actually writing something out with a pen or a pencil versus typing it out. You remember it better when you write it out, and I don't know. I mean, that's the best thing about writing stuff down is that you remember it. Isn't that why we write stuff down? Anyway, let me continue with the article here. Let's see here. Much of the latest research is looking into exposure via our diets, but a 2017 study has proven that handling BPA-laden paper leads to increased measurable levels in the body. Naysayers deny that there is a problem with receipts, claiming that BPA is safe. I guess I can read right here and look on. Safe at certain levels, and that the amount of exposure received by handling a receipt is negligible. But Dr. John Warner of the Babcock Institute from Green Chemistry says the more BPA in a single thermal paper receipt, there's more BPA in a single thermal paper receipt than the total amount that will leach out from a polycarbonate water bottle used for many years. And as I say daily to my patients, toxins are cumulative. Even if the amount of exposure to a toxin is small, these exposures accumulate in the body over time and add up to bigger consequences. BPA is one of the toxins I am able to measure in my patients' lab tests. Even trace amounts of BPA may cause problems with reproductive, cardiovascular, neurological, and immune systems. In men, it can interfere with libido and sperm quality. And in women, it has been tied to infertility, miscarriage, breast cancer, even premature delivery. Anyway, it's like how to avoid. Just say no when they ask for if you want a receipt, or go paperless if that's an option, which I'm actually not even for that because I don't want them to know my email. Basically, just sign up for some email service that's not Gmail and have that be your spam email. Like, yeah, here's my email for coupons or something that you don't really care about. Anyway, which that shit sucks anyways. They're just using that to track you for a 10% discount. 10% is such a tiny amount anyway. It's such a scam. Anywho, so, ask the cashier to put it in the bag so you don't have to touch it. Wash your hands well after handling receipts. Keep a small pouch and resealable plastic bag in your purse and ask cashiers to deposit receipts into it. Yeah. So my husband thinks it's blown out of proportion and that it's not that big of a deal. And I don't know. I guess I don't mind error, citing on the error of caution. Is that the phrase? But then he made a good point about like, well, then why not wear a mask then if you're not going to side on that, caution side? And I'm like, that's a little bit different somehow. So let me exit out of there. Well, because the muzzle, the face mask is a sign of oppression and a slavery. Like you're literally muzzling, you're choosing your own slavery and putting yourself in your own chains there. And I'm not here for that. God gave us the ability to breathe freely and live on this earth and enjoy the earth that God has designed for us. And breathing is a human right. So I choose to breathe the healthy air. It's not complicated, really. Let's see, exiting. So there's quite a few schools that are schools and students being quite based as of late. They're walking into, I guess they're called walk-ins. I mean, didn't they do this back in the 50s or 60s? Black people, they did the sit-ins, which was awesome and really necessary to make a change. Students approaching a high school wearing no masks. Isn't that crazy? We're living in an era that walking into school without a mask on is a sign of like power, like just breathing freely, just walking into a school or a building. I'm playing it here. Just a group of kids walking towards a school without a mask on. I wonder how many there are. Based. Like, good job, parents, whoever parenting these kids. Which it's possible that the parents aren't for this, but I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. I think you should choose to rebel for freedom on the side of freedom instead of being like, I don't like my body. My gender is not what I want. I'm going to be sinful and be like, F you, God. It's like the ultimate act of rebellion, being like, I'm made in his image. Well, you know what? The image that I see myself as is not what I want it to be. And I'm just going to make it my own and just be like, F you, God. And I'm only doing that as a display. I'm not literally saying F you, God. It's just a total act of rebellion. You get it. So this is another, actually from the New York Post. Group of students. Oh, that's the same thing. Entering high school maskless. Stay strong out there. I think it's just a different angle. Is it a different school? Libertyville High School, maskless. This is going on all over. This is not just in wherever, Illinois. It's pretty freaking base, though. I'm like, yes. Oh, Lord. So this kills me. What is this woman's name again? Forgot her name. It's this Chinese woman that's on CNN who's literally just constantly spouting propaganda. She's like a crisis actor. She's phony. There's an old video of her being interviewed about some sort of bombing that went on like years ago. She's just like, I don't know if you are able to detect people that are fake and they're just like constantly smiling. And I don't know, like whenever people are too cheerful in general, and they don't need to be that cheerful, it's just about randomness. I'm like, I don't trust them. Like, that's just a thing within me that I've never trusted. Like, there's this Snow White cosplayer girl back in the day that was just so cheery and like being in character all the way. I was like, dude, no one's around. Like, you can be normal. It was creepy. Like, absolutely not. These people are fucked. Like, anyone that's obsessed with Disney, like really obsessed, like Disney-aholic, going to Disney every other weekend, these people need therapy. Like, sincerely. I had a friend that pretty young, and I don't know, I'm just like, it's so infantilizing, like just being stuck on that Disney thing and obsessing over it. And I just feel like they've been, Disney threw out the casting line lure, and these people get like stuck in this Disney brain thing where they're like, everything's happy. Or maybe their life is so miserable that they find that they really want to go to Disney all the time and be like, this is the happy place and it's always happy here and it's Fantasyland. And look at this. What is the old Mickey Mouse? It's not Mickey Mouse. It's like a version of Mickey Mouse. He's got floppy ears. He's way cuter looking. He looks like he's from like 1910. Whatever. Oh, it's going to bother me. Anywho, I had an interaction with the costumed mouse thing. And they were being really cute. And it did make me smile, but that's what they're experts at, making you feel like you're in happy place, in happy land. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm able to bear children, which God willing, it's going to be interesting. I don't want to raise them on Disney because Disney's just all about lies and crap. And especially now, it's just propaganda out the wazoo. Tangent. Let me go on with this woman's. I was trying to look up this woman's name, but I got insanely distracted. So let's just rewind and listen to this hilarity.
I do. There was and is a time and place for pandemic restrictions, but when they were put in, it was always with the understanding that they would be removed as soon as we can. And in this case, circumstances have changed. Case counts are declining. Also, the science has changed. We know that vaccines protect very well against Omicron, which is the dominant variant. Everyone 5 and older have widespread access to vaccines. And we also know about one-way masking, the idea that even if other people around around you are not wearing masks, if you wear a high quality mask, that also protects you, the wearer, too. And so in this case, I'm not saying, I don't think anyone really is saying that no one should ever wear masks, but rather that the responsibility should shift from a government mandate imposed from the state or the local district of the school. Rather, it should shift to an individual responsibility by the family, who can still decide that their child can wear a mask if needed.
Take New Jersey, the case in New Jersey, for instance, their new case average is just over 4,000. Is that an acceptable number to do this, or are they projecting out to March 7th at this point?
I don't think we should be looking at case counts at all at this point, especially when we're dealing with a milder variant and when so many people were exposed to Omicron and therefore have at least some level of protection either through vaccination or immunity. The key number that we should be looking at is hospitalizations. If our ICUs and hospitals in that particular region are not overwhelmed, if they're not over capacity, we can set a number, for example, 75% or 80% full, then we should be able to relax all restrictions. And I actually believe that we should be starting to, with the first restriction removed, should actually be the restriction on children. Because while for adults, you could say, well, what's the harm of adults masking when they go into a grocery store? There actually is a harm that we should be discussing of children continuing to mask. That doesn't mean that masking doesn't have its place for children when there are very high rates of hospitalization. If we get a new variant in the future that children are particularly susceptible to, we may want to bring masks back. But we should also be intellectually honest and say that masking has had a cost, especially for the youngest learners, people with English as a second language, children with learning disabilities. There has been a cost to them. So the risk-benefit calculation has really changed.
The fact that they're now saying